Now, this story has rocked the track and field world. Jamaican fans were shooketh. 4 athletes, including 3 of their Olympic medalists from Paris, are switching their allegiance to Turkey. The biggest name is the Olympic champion in discus, Roger Stona. And all 4 are said to be getting a signing bonus of $500,000 US. I mean, that's some serious cash. AB, how much money would it take for you to just drop the maple leaf like a hotcake?
Oh man, Turkey, you got to come with it, man. 500K is not enough.
Oh!
Maybe it'd be like what Donovan said to bring him in that race. 40
Yep.
million, that sounds about right.
Yep.
But I understand it, and it goes beyond just the cash. Okay, like a lot of people will think about the money and they'll say, "Oh, would I do it for this amount? Would I do that?" It's like one of those scenarios where you ask your friends, like, "Hey, would you eat this bug for 10K?" And those fun little scenarios like that. But
Yep.
if you dive deeper in this scenario, it's a lot more insidious. I feel like there's been problems with the JAAA for years, and athletes have spoken out. You even had a legend like Asafa Powell saying like, "I don't want my kids to run for the federation." He's not going to say that lightly, unless there was something seriously going on within the scene. And other athletes have spoken out and expressed their concerns with the federation. So I think it's deeper than just chasing the money. I think they're probably thinking, "I want to leave anyways," and this opportunity just dropped down. They're like, "Well, if I'm going to leave, I might as well get the bag too."
But to your point, though, AB, this doesn't feel like it's a mercenary move. This is not about money. This is about a federation who's not really treating their athletes right. And they're deciding, like, I'm going to choose me. I only have a few years where I can make money, and I got to think about my future. So this is what I'm going to do. From your end, do you think that this jeopardizes how the Jamaican public might think of them, or how, they feel about their own identity? I think that'd be a hard thing for us to go into their mind, but I would wonder about that,
Yeah. Well, I think the public perception is going to be split. Naturally, you're going to have people who are diehards and don't understand the economics of it and just look at the athletes like they should be loyal through and through no matter what.
Yeah.
From me as an athlete, I understand why you would want to make that move if you're not in a position where you feel like you can cash in on your small window where you're actually successful. You want to reap the earnings. And apparently, the gold medalists in Jamaica are only making $19,000 US dollars. In US dollars terms. So for some, they might say, "Hey, that's not enough." You might say, "Hey, it shouldn't be about the money, just about getting gold for your country." But like I said, small window, you're at the height of your career. You want to cash in while you can, because as quickly as it comes, it goes even quicker.
One quick fact, they have to sit out of competition for 3 years. So they're not making
Oof.
this decision lightly, right? And so from the last time they competed for Jamaica internationally, so if it was Paris, they are not able to compete until 2027. So to your point, they are not making this lightly. I think they really decided, like, I'm putting myself first. So let's see what happens. Look, we definitely need a Jamaican perspective on this. And to help us out, from Caribbean broadcaster Ricardo Chambers, thank you for weighing in on this, truly.
Yeah, thank you so much, Perdita, for having me, and Aaron as well. Perdita, I still haven't forgiven you for beating Bridget Foster Hilton in 2003, but we can let that rest a little bit for today.
Oh, you're
Bygones
taking
be
it back to
bygones.
2003. Wow. Ricardo, thank you again for joining us. I mean, has there anything interesting going on in Jamaica? I feel like there's headline after headline going on, man. What's the reaction like in Jamaica right now? What's the vibes like?
Yeah, I think at this stage, just a little bit too much that's going on in Jamaica right now. Of course, as you know, the Nationals start tomorrow, where Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce has said that it will be her last time competing in Jamaica. But I don't think we've really had the opportunity to start the build up to a farewell that she really deserves in a significant way, because the news that broke last week that 4 Jamaican athletes, and we're talking about 3 Olympic medalists and a world under 20 record holder, who are in the process of switching allegiance to Turkey. And that's what has been dominating the headlines for the last week. I think for the most part, most Jamaicans are on the side of the athletes. I think they understand at least that the athletes are looking out for their best interest. They are trying to secure futures, not just for themselves, but for their families as well. And you would understand both Aaron and Perdita, how significant, how important that is. And I think even the Jamaicans who are hurt by the decision, they appreciate that it would not have been, that it was not a simple decision for the athletes, that it must have taken careful thought. And ultimately, the athletes have to look out for what is their best interest. And that is not to say that there aren't individuals who have bashed the athletes, who believe in loyalty, who believe in country over anything else. But as many of the athletes have been saying, loyalty does not pay the bills.
I want to play this clip from the Jamaican shot putter, Ricardo Campbell, who had this to say about the federation.
The Adidas contract that the J3s refused to sign, there were bonuses that benefit the athlete, not the federation. There were certain things they wouldn't have control over because it would be directly to the athlete, based on my understanding. And they went against that. They more care about their lie to the sponsor and not their lie to the country. No statement was made about it. Nothing was made about it. Everything, there needs to be some transparency in how sports is managed in Jamaica. And until that happens, I believe more athletes will leave.
Ricardo, what I basically hear him saying is that, the federation, the athletes are sponsored by Puma, but there was an opportunity for Adidas to come on board. But, the Jamaican Federation said no. And he's saying that there's a lack of transparency. This deal could have potentially helped the athletes. What do you know about that specifically, and overall what their gripe is with the federation?
I think an even more significant issue from my standpoint, whether it is Adidas or Puma or Nike that is sponsoring the Jamaican Federation, is the J3 is putting in place a formal system that speaks to how athletes will be assisted by the federation. He did get some assistance from the J3s. 1 month, I think it was February last year, he got, I think, something like $500, and then the following month he got $500 again. But then there was nothing else coming from the association. And it wasn't until he got to the Olympic Games in Paris where he approached one member of the association, the treasurer, and he gave him $700. Now, part of the significant issue about that for me is the lack of that system that allows something like that to happen, because as it is right now, it just appears as if those athletes who are in need of assistance are forced to be begging the federation and running behind the federation month after month and time after time. It is an issue of transparency, but it is also an issue of integrity. And once again, not for the first time, the integrity
You are right. Thanks, Ricardo.
All right, thank you guys.
Take care.